So I forgot something to tell you guys. I do not like Lord of the Rings. I'm so sorry, I just don't. Hi YouTube, and welcome to my booktube channel, Books with Leo. So today I have my new ring light and I desperately wanted to film a video, so here we are. We'll never ever ever have to endure the super weird Halloween lightning thing that was going on in my other video, so hallelujah, thank you. So this channel is actually doing pretty well, and I want to say hello and thank you to all my new subscribers. It's such a joy to have you here, and I'm really glad you all subscribed to my English channel. So yeah. So today I thought let's kick it off with a bit of a controversial video, because who doesn't love a bit of controversy? Well, I do every now and then. And these books, the popular books I hate videos, are one of my favourite videos to watch on other people's channels, so I thought let's give it a shot. So today I've rounded up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books that are pretty popular that I really don't like or I hate. I think hate is a pretty big word, but I generally just don't like these books, and some of them I sort of hate, but most of them I just really don't like. So yeah. Right, we have to do a little disclaimer so you guys don't all attack me or hate me or whatever. So, if any of the books on this list happen to be your favourite book, that's possible. You can still enjoy this book, you can still love this book, you can still think it's super amazing. Totally fine with me, I don't care, read what you want to read, but these are books that I personally don't really like or kind of hate. So, that being said, let's get into it. The first book on this list is Nevernight by J. Christoph. Please don't hate me. Let me explain. This is the Dutch copy I have here, it's called Nimmernacht, and maybe the translation is not what we would have wanted the translation to be, but I don't know that because I've never tried the original. Maybe I should. Anyway, the synopsis of this book totally had me hooked, and it's also like such a gorgeous book. Let me show you a bit. So it has this like beautiful star thing going on, and it's so pretty. And so when I saw this I was like, I have to get it. I don't care if it's 25 euros. I want to read this stuff. And then it also happens to be about this super cool girl called Mia Corvera, or however you would pronounce that, I don't know. And she's basically like this sort of assassin, and she goes to assassin school or something. And I was pretty far in actually, because I was pushing through. I didn't entirely read this book. I think I was around page 300 something, so I was pretty far in. But my biggest problem with this book is the footnotes. It has such big footnotes. I've never seen anything like it. It's like ridiculous. So let me see if I can find any. Some of these pages have more footnote than they have actual text of like the regular story. I still want to attempt to read this book, but I've sort of also given up at the same time. So I don't know. Yeah, well, this is not as bad. But you can see all of this is a footnote. And this just really, it kept getting me out of the story, so I would be really into the fantasy story, and then all of a sudden there'd be this footnote that would be just like half the page, like here for example, and it would just totally snap me out of it, and I really didn't enjoy that. However, there were some cool characters in here, but also at the same time I thought the story was a bit, it felt a bit dreading, like it just kept on dragging itself forward, which is weird because typically I really enjoy slow fantasies. But I still haven't gotten rid of this book. It's just, the copy is so pretty and I want to love it. I really want to, but I can't seem to do it. I'll still try sometime maybe. But anyway, this is the first book on the list of books I hate. I'm so sorry. And it's also, it's weird because there are some other J. Christoph books that I do like, so it's not him either, so like, everybody's confused. I'm confused, the book's confused, J. Christoph's confused, Mia's confused, it's just a lot of confusion. So the second book in this list, I'm not sure if it'll be a big controversy because I know a lot of people, especially on Booktube, really hate this book, and that is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, the play by Jack Thorne and somebody else, and not by J.K. Rowling, that's for sure. So I don't have that book here with me. I gave it to my dad for his birthday, and then I read it as well because, you know, that's sort of why I give it to him as well. I'm a terrible daughter. I gave my dad this book and I read it when I was on holiday in Germany, I think. I think I read it in one night, so I enjoyed it and I enjoyed reading it. But afterwards I was like, this story is just so, it makes no sense. And it being like marketed as the 8th Harry Potter book, it just, struck me so badly. Didn't like that at all, because it's just not. It's not even written by J.K. Rowling, or like, it doesn't feel like it is, to be honest. So yeah, that book was such a big letdown for me, and I didn't expect it to be like the best book ever, because I know it's a play and wasn't expecting it to be like the Harry Potter books, and I definitely enjoyed reading it at the moment, but afterwards I was just like, what happened? Like, even the idea of Voldemort having a child, and like, it's so wrong. And the time traveling went overboard, and it's just, I don't agree with any of it, to be honest. I still would like to go see the play someday, but it's like, I haven't planned anything. So the next one, I know I'll make some enemies by saying this, but I don't like Shatter Me. I don't like the Shatter Me series at all. So this is a book series written by Tahara Mafi, and I do like some of Tahara Mafi's work. I have Furthermore here as well, and I thought that was a really cool novel, but Shatter Me was just not for me, and mostly because Shatter Me has such a poetic writing style with all the crossed lines, and it was just so repetitive. And I also remember some stuff about, like, it's been 3 years since I read this book, so bear with me please. For as far as I know, it's about this girl called Juliet or something like that. I don't even know anymore. She's locked up somewhere, and then this guy called Adam, I think. I'm such a good booktuber. This guy called, I don't know what he's called, but I guess Adam, that's, I think. And he comes in and they start talking, but she's doubting herself, and along the way you find out that she's been locked up because everything she touches dies. So they've decided, we're gonna lock this girl up in here, and we're gonna put this guy in with her or whatever. And then it sort of comes out that he's probably military, and he was put in there to get stories and secrets out of her or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making this all up. But yeah, that was just definitely not for me. It was so repetitive, and I remember her liking Adam and like them making out like so soon into the story, and it felt so insta-lovey, and I was just like, what the hell am I reading? And this makes no sense, and I thoroughly didn't enjoy it. I plowed through to the end, and then I was like, okay, I'm giving up forever. And then I never tried to read any of the other books. Some people say that it gets a lot better with the second book. I'm just like, good, great for you, not for me. I'm not reading that. If the Shatter Me series is one of your favorites, it's totally fine. I just don't get it, and I just think it's not for me, and maybe I'm just not poetic enough. I don't know. But I'd be really interested to know, what about the series is it that you really love? Because I wouldn't know. Let me know. Oh right, okay, so the next one is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas. So I have all 3 of the books right here. I don't have the Frost and Fury, whatever it's called, I don't know. I don't have that like spin-off sequel-y book. To be honest, I loved A Court of Thorns and Roses. I gave it 5 stars, I think. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was so nice, very fantasy. I just flew through it. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the Beauty and the Beast retelling. I thought it was nice. But then I tried to get into the second book. I just couldn't, because the main character, I'm sorry if this is spoilers, the main character is very traumatized in the second book, and it was too much for me. And I had a really difficult time reading it, and maybe that's also because I've had some things in the past to deal with, but it was really difficult for me, and I just gave up. So that's why I kind of hate this, because now I have 2 big books, and I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to read them, and they're just sitting on my shelf looking at me like, girl, you need to read us, and you're not doing it, and it kind of makes me feel bad. Because I would really like to enjoy this series, but haven't been able to. Okay, so we're getting nearer the end of my list. Oh right, this is a nice one. I forgot something to tell you guys. I do not like Lord of the Rings. I'm so sorry, I just don't. I don't get it. I love the movies, and this is gonna make me sound so bad and like not a reader at all, but I can't get through this. I don't get it. I bought this at a secondhand store sometime, and I really badly wanted to read it, but I just can't. It's just too difficult, it's too much for me, and it's just, the writing style is so dense. There's just so much of it. I don't know a better way to explain it, but it's just, don't like it. And I generally, like with most of the books on this list, I wish I could enjoy this, and I still have the book, so I guess that implies I want to try. Like with The Cursed Child, I'm not trying, but with this, I would like to try sometime, I think, maybe. So yeah, I'm sorry, I feel kind of bad, but I don't like it. I don't have a lot of stuff to talk about with this book because I tried I think 4 years ago, which is a really long time ago. I sort of hate it because I wish I could like it. So the next book on my list is Challenge Deep by Neil Shusterman. So this book has been pretty popular the past couple of months, years, I don't know, on Booktube. I've heard several people talk about it. It's about a guy and he's, I think, well, he has some mental thing going on, some sort of schizophrenic thing, or at least he's in a sort of psychosis, and it's very heavy to read about. And you read about his normal life and then his life on a ship, and that's sort of his imagination going totally bollocks. And I think it's really nice that people are writing about this stuff, and I think Neil Shusterman does so very beautifully, but it was just not for me, I think, mostly. I've liked some of Neil Shusterman's stuff in the past, like I love Scythe, I'm such a big Scythe fan. Still have to read Thunderhead. I was holding the Toll today in the bookstore and I was just like, oh, I have to read Thunderhead, I have to read it like now. Anyway, Challenge Deep was just, it was just not what I expected it to be. And I think maybe that's my biggest gripe with it, that I had different expectations, because it was a really heavy, heartfelt book and it was like a lot to deal with and it was just too much for me. I've said that like 3 times, like apparently everything's too much for me. What can I say? I'm a soft person. Am I though? I don't know. Anyway, wasn't for me. I can't really explain it that properly. I hate to say it, but I did not like Circe by Madeline Miller, and yes, I'm such a barbaric person for saying that. Look and listen, hear me out. I loved the first part of the story, when she was still at the court and the stuff was happening and she turned this guy into a god. I thought it was so interesting, and I really liked the feminist elements of this book as well, but it was all out just, I felt like it was dragging on and on and on and on, and it took me so long to get through. So I think the first half I was like loving it, and then the second half I was just like, can this please be over, because it is taking so long. I understand that it's Greek mythology and that it's a lot and that it's all these stories and they're packed into one book and it's not that big of a book, but this book took me 2 months to read, which is really long for me, because usually I could read something like this I think in a week, and it took me 2 months. That's not a good sign. Circe by Madeline Miller wasn't for me. I'm really sad about it because I wanted this to be my favorite book ever, also because it's so beautiful and, you know, a feminist witch, like a kick-ass Greek mythology figure, sounds just so great. And yeah, it was great for the first half, to be honest. I really enjoyed that, but then it was just, it took so long. Like, I think the span of this book is over 1,000 years, maybe even over 1,000,000. Like, I understand that she keeps living and living because she's a god, but it took too long for me. I don't have the patience for this stuff. So those are some of the popular books that I hate. I'm really genuinely sorry if I mentioned your favorite book, but I think we're all entitled to have our own opinions and to enjoy different things. So if you also didn't enjoy any of these books, please let me know in the comments down below, or comment if some of them are your faves and why. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Give a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. Yeah, then I'll see you next time. Bye bye!